10, hut!
I get that door for us.
Pull that door, please. I had it shut. I'm the only one talking. See the previous comment that I made about 3 minutes ago, William. Now, I want you to understand what is going on and the importance of this in this community's public eye. There's a lot of positive feedback going on about the Grizzly side of town this year, and we want to add to it. Your actions will add to it. I see several of us looking really sharp. Really sharp is shirt tucked in. What? Please have your uniform on all the way right by the time you get to that door so you don't back up 240 people trying to get out the door because you couldn't follow the instruction on the first time. We also need you to make sure that you take your flip folders in, use them in the bandstand for everything we play. I don't want anybody guessing up there and stinking it up. Follow all adult instructions. If an adult asks you to do something, whether they're a band director or a chaperone or, follow everything that they tell you to do, or it will be curtains for you. Be professional and handle yourself with quiet confidence. Now this is important. You guys are going to put on, I think, a pretty good show for this time of year, September 13th. I'm very excited about the show that y'all are going to put on tonight. But you handle yourself with quiet confidence and humility. If somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, great job," the response to that is, "Thank you very much." Have confidence in yourself, because you're going to do just fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the award-winning Northside High School Marching Grizzly Band. The 240-piece Marching Grizzly Band is led onto the field by drum majors Cameron Morton, Matthias Merriweather, and Josh Hauser. Our band's legacy dates back to the original high school band of Fort Smith, Arkansas. And this season, we're featuring the music of
Red, black, or blue, we ain't trippin' on that north side. Red, black, or blue, we ain't trippin' on that north side. Red, black, or blue, we ain't trippin' on that north side.
Quick stats, here we go. Now who this is? Yeah, hey. I grew up on the block, looking up the dime moves, gangsters and hustlers down the ride, making moves, folks across the alleyway, crips down the block away. No matter what the flag flown there, knock your block away. And OGs that grew up in the projects, Elm Grove, Brick City, still riding rep. Follow me through the hood that I represent and catch a glimpse of why they call that boy Sister Force Tip. I'm from Main Street, home of where that block be. So when you hear that guy, Ocho, know what that's about to be. And I know GDs, Crips, and Bloods the same. From the same hood, and that's the hood they bang.
That's the tardy bell, kids. Let's go. No, move it. Let's go, move it. Activity center. Let's go, move it. Come on, move it. Jump, jump. Let's go. Get ahead of me. Get ahead of me. Let's go. Come on. You don't need your horn. You need your music and your pencil. Bring your horn. Bring your horn. You don't have time to get it. Let's go. Come on.
Counted it up last night. I'm starting my 10th year here at Northside, and I strongly urge, if you are a sophomore coming in, that you make the most of your high school career. Seniors, make the most of this senior year. Start coming up with a plan now of what you're going to do. Now, a couple things. First of all, we're going to do this very positive, very productive, and we're going to do it the Northside 7A way.
If you did not come to summer band, I need you to see you over here right now as well.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Are you going to show up?
Yeah.
I'll flunk you whether you're in Mexico or wherever if you don't show up. You gonna do it? You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, I got a spot for you. I tell you, to come out here and sweat like this, heat index close to 104, takes a special kind of grizzly.
I was at home.
So you're not wanting to do this then?
Relax, let me say something. Now, what just happened right then, Mr. Durham upped the ante. He upped it. He made you have to think a little bit harder. And what did I hear a whole bunch of you do? Why not just go and get it in there, huh? Call them to attention.
Where were you, boy? I'm doing the breakfast.
Do you want to try this?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I will flunk you just like that. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself, Jose, if you're not gonna show up.
I-
You gonna do it? You get rid of that gun right here. And you go out there.
You know that wasn't up to your level. I hope that wasn't up to your level. And it was because Mr. Durham threw you a little bit of a curve. He added to it. Now, you don't let that scuttle you. You rise to the occasion.
I thought it went pretty good for the second week. This is the second week, and the music's starting to come together, and the students are getting a feel of how to play it, left to right. It's something to build from.
So my friends, at first, I wanted to quit, right? And I wanted to try something new. But then my friends started talking to me, like, you've been there for 3 years. Like, why are you gonna quit now? I was like, I didn't really think of it that way, so I was like, might as well want to continue the next 3 years. So.
Well, you came to that one night summer band and then never saw you again. Ashley said you were gonna quit.
Yeah,
So
that's
you've
what I said.
reconsidered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you know that I won't reconsider. If you don't show up,
I
I'll
want
flunk
to
you.
get everyone.
To get the perspective of keeping everything centered, you need to imagine something, possibly a quarter, in between the buttocks, and keep everything nice and compact so we flow down the field. We don't want to drop our change.
Last night for summer. It's top secret. We hadn't told the kids yet. But they've worked hard, and sometimes we throw them little trinkets and just stuff, and sometimes they like it. So we're going to, how do we say this? Because we never say this. We're going to cut y'all loose tomorrow night, so y'all can partay.
Your ticket out of the building is two things, actually three things. Your instrument, your music, and a popsicle. Okay? Three things as you leave it. You have to show us those three things. All right, everybody. Bye. Practice teacher work day, and so we don't have any meetings.
Jessica, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
You do? How come you didn't come to summer band?
Because, my mom, she has scheduled my airplane tickets
Oh.
on the wrong days.
Well, y'all were traveling, huh?
Well, no, I had to visit my dad's.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I wasn't kidding. If you don't show up, you got to switch your out to. If you don't, you're not yet. If you don't show up, I'll flunk you. And I'll smile and I'll say, I had to flunk you. But
How many of those stories do you believe?
how many of those stories do I believe? I believe probably 30%, maybe. But I'm not kidding. If they don't show up, we have no mercy. I knew for a long time that I wanted to be a teacher. I mean, even back in way early. My band director, when I was growing up, meant a lot to me, and I had a real good relationship with him, and I thought that what he did was pretty cool, and I thought I saw myself doing that, even at age 12 or whatever in 7th grade. Came to the Fort Smith district
1992, I think. Spent 7 years. I spent 7 years at Kimmons Junior High on the north side. And then 5 years as the assistant here at Northside with another one of my mentors, Mike Crome. And I'm starting my 10th year now in my current position as the band director here. I got a pin not too long ago for my 20-year pin, and it was a big deal. I wore it for a while. I'm coming back on contract. We're going to Arkansas to a band camp, Arkansas Tech. Meeting the kids at about 6:45, 7 o'clock, bus is supposed to pull out. So I'm coming out of my house about 6:15, and as I'm walking out, I'm shuffling over there, just sort of dreading having to get back to work and the grind. And the first person I see is Ingrid.
Band, I never actually intended to join. My cousin, he was like, join band, you get to go on a band trip. So I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, join it, just do it. I'm like, okay.
And she's there waiting. I mean, her luggage is there. She has her pillow, she has her banky, she has her tuba.
So then I go and you try out all the different instruments and see which one you sound the best on, or just which one you want, I guess. A mixture of both. So I tried them all, and there was a tuba, and it was big, and it was loud, and I liked that.
I immediately went from shuffling dread to seeing Ingrid and getting a little smile on my face. About 6:50, I go back out to find another student, and I was thinking, yeah, I think I can do this again. You know, I saw Ingrid, and I walk out there, and there's probably 50 kids standing there with their teddy bears and their luggage and their TVs ready to go to band camp. And I couldn't stop smiling for almost the rest of the day.
Well, this is my first year to be working for Northside and Darby. This is my second year teaching. I'm not sure what's going to happen, really, with this coming year. I am excited to, I guess, just start and get to know the kids and start working and get my feet wet in a sense.
How do you break in a new band director?
Don't listen to what they say. You question everything they have to say, even if they're right. And you make fun of them.
I am nervous about the kids. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of new kids for me. And being a new teacher, they're used to the team already. They're used to what they have. So I have to somehow fit in with that as well, and yet still be my own person.
7th grade, man, it was amazing. I don't know why it wasn't my best year in band, so to say, but it was my first year. And believe it or not, I don't think anybody knew this except for a few people. First 2 weeks of band, I was signed up as a flute player due to the fact that I had a baseball game and I missed the whole 6th grade sign-up day. So they had me in flute class for 2 weeks. So I played flute. I got a handle on it. And then I was like, I can't do this. I want to talk to these people so I can get it changed because I want to play drums.
Gordon took me around to see some of the neighborhoods where the kids live, what kind of home life they come from, the different areas of the school that we serve. I do remember seeing a woman digging through the trash. I don't know what she was looking for necessarily. She could have lost something. She could be looking for coupons. I've seen that on TV too. It was definitely something I hadn't seen before.
You know, what is this, the 28th year I've done this, and I just get goosebumps. Yeah, I love it. I guess the thing I'm worried the most about on the halftime show is the sound of the band. We're always worried about that more than anything else. We're worried about the sophomores stepping up and playing their part, you know, and stepping up to the level of the juniors and seniors. And then, of course, starting and stopping together is always important.
Who is going to be in the stands watching me tonight? Well, honestly, as far as family members, I don't think anybody. Friends will be there. My mom, I guess, could be there, but I don't really It's not that I don't want her to go, it's just she's tired, she works a lot, and she has my little brother and sister, and they're enough work. So I'm fine with that.
I have a 4-year-old little brother and an 8-year-old little sister. With my little brother, I don't know, I kind of want to be like I was his mom for the first year because my mom was working the 3rd shift and my little brother, newborn. So I would take care of him at night, the whole night, and my mom would come back like at 6 in the morning. Then I'd get ready for school, go to school, and then I'd get back from school and she'd try to take a nap, so I had the baby again all the way through the night. So it was rough.
Some of these kiddos are performing for the first time here at Grizzly Stadium, and the great thing about it is there's all kinds of people up here supporting them. It might not be a family member, you know, their family might be out working or who knows what they're doing, but there's somebody up here that loves them.
Do I belong right here? Hey, gang time, y'all, shut up! I'm the leader of the percussion line. This year we're making a turnaround, and they're following me for the positive reasons, and the band directors are really enjoying that. They're like so surprised about how well the percussion is acting when the leader, you know, tries to turn ship around. I like having a family approach, like just being able to have people back you up. You know, I can walk and run solo, you know, I can do all the things by myself if I wanted to, but I just like being able to help others. That's why I like the team approach. It's like a group of us who are able to teach others, and we all sound good together.
Hold now. Hold. 2, 3. Go straight across. Left.
So I don't know what they see, but I'm gonna keep doing what I do, and apparently, you know, it's earning their respect, and I'm earning the respect of those I lead, so I'm gonna keep going with it.
What'd you do wrong?
Missed some notes. Came off the wrong stuff sometimes. First game stuff.
It went. I didn't stop. I played a little improvising, but
I didn't hit my spots like I wanted to.
My personal performance in the field was not the best, but
I think there seemed to be a new culture tonight or something. Like the start of a new era or something. We've been trying to like leave behind not necessarily a legacy, but like an imprint on the band. So we just want to try our hardest.
Thank you.
Backs of your heads getting smaller. The game, it is over. It is done.
Your voice.
My voice is done. My body is done. My mind is done. I'm gonna jump in the pool. I might eat a piece of pizza. I might eat 2 pieces of pizza.
But it's all about them just getting this out of their system, this first performance. Just get it out of their system, and because they were in freak out mode. I had kids saying, "Where do I stand? Where do I go?" And I don't know.
I'm too tired to cheer right now. But it was a good first Northside game. It was a lot of fun, a lot of energy, but I'm exhausted. And the kids are slowly starting to respond to me, very slowly. There's still some resistance, but it's coming. It's probably more of them breaking into me to get used to who they are and how they respond best and how I can get the best potential out of them.
Be real.
How good or bad was it?
Well, you want your first performance to be about a C. You know, a C, maybe a B minus. But you don't want it to be that good, because if it's too good, then you've either underpicked your music. You know, you're not challenging them enough. If it's just really bad, you either need to reevaluate your approach to teaching it, or change something about what you're playing.
So what grade did you give him tonight?
C minus. C minus. Plenty of room for improvement. We're not going to peak too soon, that's for sure.
The kids at Northside are very special kids. They have a lot of enthusiasm. They have a lot of, they're not afraid to tell you what they feel. They're not afraid to, or at least show how they feel.
The best thing about Northside High School by far is the diversity. Man, it's just a melting pot.
I don't actually live in the Northside district. I live outside of that district, but I decided to go to Northside.
It was a big, I don't want to say culture shock, because that's sort of generic, but coming from rural Oklahoma, rural Arkansas, to an environment where there's all this diversity.
Hispanic, Asian, African American, Caucasian, then the miscellaneous. I mean, it's the melting pot of Fort Smith.
It was interesting. I went to a camp over the summer, and it was definitely majority Caucasian at this camp. And I just felt so uncomfortable. I was like, where are the people speaking Spanish in the hallway? Where's the people speaking Vietnamese? Where are the black people?
But I figured out real quick that music is the common denominator with those, common ground with those kids. And they're no different than any other kid. They have the same emotions, the same fears, the same anxiety, the same, fun stuff that they like to do as any other kid. They have different conditions.
They're rich kids, they're not so rich kids, and in the middle. And the thing about Northside that I love is there's not really a separation of who has this and who doesn't have this. If you get along, you get along.
I just sat down one day and I was like, I want to go to school with people like that. I want to go to school with these great, amazing people.
Music is that common connection that can reach out to anybody of any background, really.
When I was growing up, I was bullied a lot. Like, not just like a little punch in the shoulder, nothing like that, but like real bully-related stuff. And that really got to me. It brought my self-esteem down. And I think because of my feeling of loneliness, it got to me a lot too. Because I didn't seem to get some friends because of that.
In junior high, you're trying to figure out your social identity amongst your peers. The need, the want, the feel to belong, to be a part of something is everything.
I remember one time when I was in church, I thought I was supposed to be safe in church. And one time it was after school, after Sunday school, and I was walking underneath, and this one of the three particular bullies, he threw down spit through me. He was in the upper stairs, and he threw spitting at me from the top, and that always stayed with me for a while.
I seen a guy, it was crazy, in junior high. He was a loner. I don't know what he said to one of the guys, but in a heartbeat, 10 guys, jumped on him and just dispersed. And so, that's junior high. I seen guys get put in lockers, get put in trash cans, walk down the hall, books slapped out of their hands. You know, stuff like that is what kids deal with, and so at the end of the day, they find different means and measures to counter that, whether it be football. You know, I'm gonna take my aggression out on the football field, or I'm just gonna stay focused on my books. You know, if I don't say nothing, if I just focus on what I have to do, then hey, you'll ignore me. Some, it's not that easy. Some say, you know what, I want to get involved in the gang.
I was like, hey, what if I can somehow fit in with them? So I started hanging out with them through my Kimmons year, my first year in Kimmons, so 7th grade. I started to neglect people who cared about me, that even I didn't know cared about me. So I started to change my dress and the way I dress myself, the way I put myself out there to my teachers, to my family, to my dad, my mom.
My little health issue I had last year allowed me to, I was home for weeks, and I did a lot of reading and I did a lot of reflecting, and came to the conclusion that I need to not be such a control freak.
I will.
That was masking.
Yeah, all right, I'll make it right. I ain't pissed. What's new?
Woo! Did I hear you just ask if Mr. Manley was in a good mood?
That was Mr. Coates. It wasn't me. Don't say me.
Mr. Coates.
Because that's wrong.
That's insane.
Mr. Coates, did you just ask if Mr. Manley was in a good mood?
No.
And so I've turned a lot of the stuff over into some, as far as the preparation and such goes, to very capable younger directors. It was an epiphany. I wish I'd have done it 5 or 6 years ago, because the growth, the energy comes from them, and from, in my opinion, them growing, them loving the job even more than they did, because they themselves even have more ownership. By that, I'm talking Aaron Durham.
Got to carry Dr. Beat, metronome, PA system, drum major clipboards, director clipboards.
He wasn't very happy in the position he was in because he was just being a gopher. I knew that he was unhappy, but it took that for me to, took that health thing for me to come to the conclusion what was causing it, and the cause was me. Letting a lot of responsibility go to Aaron. He's very capable, and now he's loving his job now.
Let me just say this. It is so much fun to come to work with you guys. So thank you.
It's amazing what a little bit of ownership will do.
We were at ABA, the big band director convention, and I was in a session. I forgot what session it was, but it was a morning session. Aaron was in there, Adam was in there, and we're sitting there listening. I see Aaron get up, which a lot of people do that sometimes when they're bored. So I was just, okay, he's bored. He doesn't like it. Then I see Adam get up. I'm like, what a bunch of bums. I'm working with a bunch of bums, getting up, leaving because they're bored out of their mind.
Amy calls me and says, Gordon collapsed in the shower.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, Gordon, I'm yelling at him, Gordon, can you hear me? Because he's in the shower. I knew he had fallen. I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't know what kind of injuries there were.
And the next thing I knew, my wife, Amy, was asking me crazy questions, and I was down on the shower floor.
Where were you supposed to go this morning? Well, I've got a Phi Beta Mu breakfast. I mean, almost like he was irritated with me for asking these questions.
He says he's okay, but he might be a little late to the breakfast. He said to save him a seat.
And then Adam calls me and says, you need to leave, that Gordon's had a heart episode. And I was like, holy cow. That's all I knew at the time. And so I leave and call and get more details.
And she says, I'm not going to let him go. He's wanting to go, but I'm not going to let him go. I'm calling the ER because this doesn't sound right.
I'm talking to her on the phone. My husband's down. He's gone down in the shower. I don't know what happened. It might be a stroke. I don't know. I need somebody here now.
And then a text pops up from Amy, says, it happened again. We're going. And so I just sent her a text, said, I'm on my way. And that's when I left.
And we go to the emergency room at St. Edward's. We check in. They put him on monitors. We can't explain anything.
I was there when Gordon's heart quit, I think, for several seconds.
I go out again, and so they decide something's going on. They take me back to the room, hook me up, go out another time. A couple times I went out and come to find out I was having sudden cardiac arrest.
He says, Amy, it's happening again. I start screaming.
And I ran out to the hallway. It says, happening, get somebody in here. And Amy was hollering. We were hollering to get somebody in there.
Then the cardiologist immediately comes in.
I said, listen, son, you're not going anywhere.
Aaron and I and Gordon's mom, Jo, were all there.
With my mother, 85 years old. She couldn't do that. She couldn't sit there and watch me die. Neither could Amy.
You're going to have a pacemaker. And so they took him upstairs. And at this point, we were alone for a minute. And he started saying, now the wheels here, just going over things that I didn't want to talk about. It wasn't an option.
We run up there and check on him, and it was scary. Walking into the hospital room, and I remember the first thing that was said to me, Gordon's laying on the bed. And Gordon sits up and says, welcome to the north side of town, just like he would do. And that's what it was.
Kids were so great. They brought over food for him. We had such nice cards, and kids were leaving things by the door.
Of course, I was devastated. The first thing I thought whenever all of it happened was, what am I going to do about summer band and the kids and
Angie and Jared and Adam showed up. My dad showed up with a toolbox and said, well, let's get the horns ready, because we didn't have anything ready. We all pitched in and were there for each other. But it was a learning experience, because here I am in front of 200 kids. We had never had that many kids in the band, and I was so worried about him, So I'm busy, but I'm worried. I'm busy. I didn't sleep for several days. And I brought them in and just had a heart-to-heart with them, said, this is what has happened. This is what we're going to do. Mr. Manley wouldn't have us sitting around having a moat party. We're going to have a band. We're going to make it as good as we can make it. So when he comes back, he's proud. And then I thought, after a couple of days, I thought, we ought to just have a little concert for him somehow.
All of a sudden, I'm hearing band music, obviously very loud outside my house. And so I go out there, and sure enough, there's like 200 kids out in the road.
Hello, Manleys. Wow, that was a shock.
Got the city of Fort Smith to block the road off, and there were cops there blocking the road off. It was incredible. And they played a little concert for me. and showed me what they'd been doing during summer band, and I'll never forget that moment. That was, I'll never forget it.
Well, here we are at Jim Rowland Stadium, Southside High School, and it's Northside versus Southside, and people around the whole state will tell you this is the biggest rivalry in the state. To move this monstrosity, we have to have 6 student buses and 1 equipment bus. Getting them parked is crazy because of all the traffic. Probably once everybody gets here, 12,000 people, 12,000 people in the stadium. Very tricky. If you'll notice, with the packed house like we have, they've moved us, and they do the same thing for Southside, the other band, when they come to our place. They move us into the end zone in folding chairs so they can fill up the stands. So they get a few more paying customers up there, not have as many people standing around, although you'll notice they're starting. It'll be standing room only in here. We don't travel that much. There are several reasons for it. Number one, we don't want to put that much of a burden on our kiddos on a Friday night, where many of our kiddos actually have jobs, supporting family members, and maybe supporting siblings on a Friday night. So we try to limit that as much as we can. Number one. Number two, sometimes we don't get that warmer reception at some of our places that we have traveled to in the past. We've actually had terrible things said to our kiddos from members of the stands, up in the stands. It's just really sad is what it is, and so we just don't put our kids through that in some of the schools. The reason that they heckle us is because of the diversity, because that's what they say. I've heard every racial epithet that I've ever heard repeated by people in the audience.
Are we going to win?
Yeah, we're going to win. Nothing would do my heart better than to see Northside beat Southside. It's just a thing. It's a thing.
They were in a play, wasn't that a play or something, and are introducing themselves to the kindergarten class, Tiger Theater, and Christopher or Christian, I think it was Christopher, he got up there and he said, "My name is Christopher Jones and my mom is Patricia Jones and she is 46 years old." And
yes.
The whole place just went
Poetry
nuts.
slam.
Them teachers were just, poetry
Channel
slam.
5 was there.
Yeah, it was.
And
it
they
was
put it
so-
on the news that night. So everybody in
Yes.
Fort Smith that would see me was like, "Oh, I know how old you are. You're 46 years old." You know, there was just a number to Christopher. Yeah, he was in kindergarten, first grade.
Classic.
Yes.
Classic.
Yeah,
You
it was a
never
poetry
forget
slam. He
stuff
wrote
like that.
the poem.
I actually almost went into orchestra instead of band because the way they had it set up at Derby, you had to choose between one or the other for me. Actually, I was going to be in orchestra, but since the orchestra period was it conflicted with athletics, so I had to do something else. So that's why I was in band. My mom told me to choose band because the band was more active in the community than the orchestra. Our mom just wanted us to do some of the same things, so it wouldn't be like she would be going one place and like missing out on something else. I stopped playing football because my mom and dad wanted me to focus on academics, and they thought I had a better chance at getting a scholarship in something academic or music related rather than playing football.
And we had to sacrifice, you know, if nothing else, I want to make sure that I have enough time for my kids to make sure that they know every nook and cranny that comes with growing up and living life to the fullest. Because if you don't have your children, you don't have anything. And if you lose them at an early age, I'm afraid they're lost for a long, long time.
Then in 8th grade, I finally got initiated into the gang.
Now, the jump-in process is is traditionally the main one that's gonna get you the most respect, depending on how you take it.
My friend got beat up first, the one I was going with, and he was crowded like a turtle, trying to protect himself.
And depending on the size of the individual getting initiated, it's not a pretty sight.
When it was my turn, I stood up the entire time. I never fell down. I took it the way I felt like I should take it.
If you take it like a man, they're gonna treat you like a man. But if you take it like a bitch, you'll get treated like a bitch.
And then it got worse and worse because now I had to do these things that they told me.
Like what? If there's an example or two, but if not, it's cool too.
Yeah.
Contests can be stressful. It's our benchmark. Band, I mean, just like in math and English have their end of the year benchmark and their EOCs, where teachers and students are given their proficiency, if you would, in the subject. When marching assessment comes along, we want our kids to be successful, and we know what that mark is, where they have to be, and sometimes we feel that we're 100% there. Sometimes we know that there's a little bit more that needs to get there, and so we do get a little more tense. As far as contest ratings affecting our job, will we get fired? No, we would not get fired. However, within our contracts, we can be reassigned. If I start consistently getting 3rd division ratings, the conversation will be had, why is that happening? Why are we not being able to get those higher ratings? Is it an instruction problem? What's the issue? And so then I will be looked at. And if it doesn't improve, then I would more than likely be offered an elementary music position or something that didn't have the performance aspect to it.
In Class 5A, First Division to Northside High School.
Band 10, hut! Stop talking, look right down here, please. Make eye contact, listen with your eyes. Let's go. Don't play a drum. Don't play a drum. We don't do that out here, it's unprofessional. Trust me. Be a real good senior class, so let's send them out. Let's send them out the right way on this marching field, okay? Got it? And up in the stands, okay? Oh, here comes a senior right here. All right.
Relish every moment, because you never know how soon it'll be gone.
Recorded in 1971 from the album Santana 3, here's Everybody's Everything. for our 2014 Grizzly Band members.
The senior lineup felt surreal because I could never imagine myself after 12 years actually getting to this point. I never really pictured it in my head, but now that it's real, I don't know what to expect next.
You're about to go up and play for the last time.
And there's only 57 seconds left. I don't want it to end, definitely, no.
Like, last time for real, there is no other time. So I tried to do my best on it. I think it went okay, but yeah, I just kept thinking, I wouldn't say it was like a flashback, but it was just sort of like a 6-measure blur of band. I know that's cheesy, but band and the friends I made, music we played and stuff kind of ran through my head. I'm not even making it up. Like, it was cool. It was a nice memory.
Yeah, it's our last football game of our high school career.
Last time that we were going to be able to perform that show.
Last time the three of us as drum majors.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Man, I'm exhausted.
My feet hurt. I'm very hungry.
Were you
How late is Chick-fil-A open?
I'm pretty sure they're closed by now.
They're closed.
It's like past
It's
10:30.
Taco Bell kind of night, I guess.
I was say, oh wait, you drive past Chick-fil-A, and here's my option: Hardee's.
Now he's got us Domino's sandwiches.
Those are very good.
They're very good. I get the little
Zeno's
Italian.
They were so freaking delirious.
Yes, I agree.
Oh.
Well, we spend a lot of energy doing this too.
Talk about what grade you'd give them now. How'd they do?
No, playing wise, I give it my A+. Sound wise, it's very strong. We still have some footwork issues, but that's a program thing, and that's something we're working on getting better on. So we got strategies on how to do that.
It was a good season. The kids held up really well, I think. I think the show was good. I think the energy was good. I think the energy in a lot of different areas was good. But it's not over. It's just now starting. Yeah, got a whole lot of water left to go here before we're done paddling this year with this group of seniors.
I started to take weapons to school.
The only thing that kids should be worried about is coming to school every day and doing the best they possibly could. But instead of doing all of that, and including doing all of that, instead of doing everything he was supposed to do at school and still maintaining first chair in band and still getting A's and B's, he was also bringing a knife, which just, I had a very difficult time understanding that. I remember not arguing, but I remember saying, Johnny's a good kid. Johnny's a good kid.
She came into the office. She was like, "Why are you there, Johnny? Why are you here?" And I was like, "I'm getting suspended." And she told me she was shocked, actually, because I was first chair in her beginning band. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know myself." And she told me, I can't remember the entire conversation, but I knew it went to take your trombone home.
When Johnny was getting his things to leave to be suspended, because that means that they can't come back on campus for a long time, this was close to all-region time. And I just told him, well, just make sure you take your trombone home. Because Johnny had done the practicing. He had, his points were great. He had a quality chance of making all-region and doing very well. And so I didn't want him to lose what he'd already worked for because he made one mistake. I mean, we are talking about kids. I mean, they make mistakes.
It struck me a lot, too, that Miss Manley cared so much. It was that kind of attention, that intimate attention I never had.
Johnny's grades never went down. I mean, he didn't slip there. He didn't slip on his trombone. I mean, everything still stayed the same, but something happened and he beat a kid up.
And we decided to jump, or that in slang, that means beat up one of the kids in the hallway. Then we all scattered. I went back to class, but then the next day, the camera caught us.
When you look at the glamour and the glory and you say, man, this is what I want to do, but then understand that there's a cost for everything. And so that comes with the cost.
I was sent to jail that same day.
Sitting in them holding cells is not a pleasant feeling for a 14-year-old kid at all.
I remember Mr. Manley, when he heard about all that and he saw me, he said, "I can't believe you did that." I felt like I let him down.
Did that bother you?
Yeah. Mr. Manley too.
Okay, now every eye on me. First of all, before we get into this is a big day. The whole purpose of what we've been doing and focusing on here is not the competition angle of it, it's the individual improvement angle of it. And the competition thing sort of goes in with that, but that's not our basic goal here. The goal is to get better. And I think everybody here can say that they got better playing some stuff. I promise you that. Okay, and that's our whole goal.
Hey, today's an exciting day. It's all-region tryouts. It's individual competition. All-region tryouts are always held, unless weather is an issue, are always held on a Saturday.
Guys playing all kinds of nutty stuff, high, fast, and loud. Let them. Encourage them. Egg them on. Okay, if they're playing those scales high, fast, and loud, you say, you can do that faster, can't you? Can't you play that louder? Okay, the whole idea.
All region that these kiddos have been working real hard on is a first step towards some of their ultimate goals of qualifying and making the all-state band. You have to score within a certain range as far as your competition is concerned to qualify for all-state tryouts.
Be at your room early, but don't hang out there. There is a 5-point deduction for tardiness. Don't have your cell phone on. You talk about making a judge hacked.
We try to push just sort of being in competition with yourself and trying to better yourself and become the best musician that you can be, and use this as sort of a tool toward that end.
Off, so that mother doesn't or friend doesn't call you right as you're fixing to put your horn up to your face, take a breath, and all of a sudden you feel that buzz in your pocket that says, "Good luck, dear."
Some of the kids put pressure on themselves. Maybe too much, in my estimation. When you think about the big goal is just to improve and get better, and everybody gets better on their own.
Mr. Morgan and Mr. Reeves, who I've known forever, and I are sitting in that room. We eat a lot. An M&M rolls off of our table, rolls across the floor. We think it's funny because we're delirious. Most important at the bottom, notice the big font and the big size. Most important, big breath, big sound, and steady counting and rhythm. The least important is the speed. Slow and steady wins the race every time until it runs into fast and steady. Now, there aren't very many of those fast and steadies, and if you're one of those fast and steadies, you make it happen fast and steady. But if you're a younger player, immature player, whatever, slow and steady is the way to go. Be confident, and quiet confidence is important. You might see some arrogant folks running around doing the look at me thing. We'd much rather handle ourselves with quiet, humble, humility, quiet confidence. Know that you're going to do well, and you don't have to advertise it.
The numbers are posted in front of the gym this time. Normally they're just by the room, so.
Oh, my number is 29.
I'm number 7. I'm number 27.
I'm 35.
Is that good?
Well, there's 97 trumpets, so yeah.
I'm 29 out of 47. Yeah, I guess it's good. Right in the middle. I know.
Last is the worst, because you gotta wait all day and then just doing nothing. I'd rather go last. Really? Yeah.
It's not good to be last because then you just wait forever.
We use cardboard in the rooms to keep the kids from seeing the judges and vice versa, keeping it anonymous. And this is pretty
pretty nice looking cardboard. We have cardboard from at Northside, 25 years old, that we just keep reusing and reusing. Judging behind the wall, we're doing trombones. A very competent committee of trombone judges, and we've picked a very challenging yet short tryout.
This year I'm hoping to, of course, make our region. I have to do really well there or else no All-State for Ingrid. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll do well enough to qualify. You know, first band, first chair is always the goal, but we'll see.
Okay, so I've never made all region. I get so nervous. I get like, it's like, don't mess up. No pressure.
Yeah. I'm gonna try the hardest I can to be first in both of them, of course. But really, in All-State, I'm shooting for the first band. In all region, I'm shooting for first chair, realistically.
And it's oh so hard. You're in there by yourself, one versus many, and it's just you. You know, you don't got nobody else to fall back on. If you fail, you just fail.
If I make all region, I will just like be so happy. I don't even know how to explain it. I'll be really happy if I make all region.
I didn't get to hear you. How'd you do?
I'm not feeling too hot.
I felt like it all went perfect except for my third scale.
The first time I came over, I was ready, and then they took a break for 15 minutes, and then they still had 15 more people to go before me. Then this time I came over here, they took another 15-minute break. Yeah.
Third scale was awful, horribly awful.
It went okay. You can always do better, but I think considering the circumstances, I did the best I could.
I know I did wrong on some parts. I didn't start right. My notes weren't full, weren't attacking the music as well. But failure builds character, so that's what I'm going with.
Nervous, and that threw me off a little bit.
What'd you miss this one?
The first one I didn't get out the note that I wanted to. It didn't come out as cleanly as I wanted it to.
So hopefully that third scale doesn't ruin it. Because it was really, really bad. Ugh, just awful. Ugh, okay.
Well, I mean, I wanted to make first chair because I know I'm capable of being first chair.
I think I messed up a little bit with my scales, but other than that, I think I did okay.
Behind the cardboard wall, I guess I pictured, I don't know, the giants, and I'm just like down there, and they're big, and I'm just a tiny little ant, trying to be heard.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. Last audition.
I'm just glad it's over. Okay, I have to go relax now.
Very glad it's over, especially, gosh, that third scale. Whew.
You ready to eat?
Yes, I'm ready to eat. I'm hungry.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, I smelled the judges' food.
What did it smell like they were eating?
It smelled like maybe some kind of barbecue stuff. Just a lot of food. I can see Manly behind the screen now. Just, all right, you're good.
Cameron, all of the French horns broke 1,000 except for last year when it was pretty crazy.
Yes, that's
No, they all broke 1,000.
All right.
I am first band fifth chair, which is all-state qualifying chair, which is exciting. I'm happy that I qualified for all-state. I was afraid there that I wouldn't qualify because the scale was so bad. I was afraid that I wouldn't qualify for all-state. So I'm glad that I qualified, but I wish I'd done better.
I did okay. I kind of expected to do a little bit better, but it turned out all right.
David, you make it.
Good job.
You keep on moving.
Same chair I got last year.
Hey, do you think Nathan made it?
It's irrelevant. What's my
Nathan, do you
score?
think you made it? No.
807.2.
You nervous?
But I didn't, I guess, work hard enough for it because he deserves it. He plays really well. What I could have done differently, I don't know, considering I've had so much thrown at me this year. I really have, academically and personally, just a lot going on.
Hey, trombone. Chris! Yeah!
I made first verse. I feel relieved. I'm happy. It made my day.
Well, I didn't make it. Kind of. I mean, I know my tryout didn't go great, but I was hoping to at least make it in the lower chairs.
I got first band fifth chair. I'm kind of disappointed. Like, I thought I could do better.
We qualify for all-state?
Oh, no. Yeah.
First band, third chair. Yes, ma'am, I will be doing all-state.
Those of you that are excited, I'm very excited for you. And those of you that are disappointed, I'm disappointed with you, and I'm sad. But I'm very happy and pleased that all of y'all are better players than you were before we started this trip. So, congratulations. Keep in mind as we're going down, there are some of us that are excited, some of us that are disappointed. Okay? Put it behind us. All right? Good.
Chill. See, when it's all said and done, I know it get hard out here at times, you know what I'm saying? But when push come to shove and you ain't strong enough to shove back, and yeah, it get spots up.
Well, I'm gonna put it in a nutshell. It's like this: our region is a beast. It's a system. Any system can be beat, you know. Once you apply what it takes to beat it, like I did today, second band, you know, that's all it takes, you know. So.
Could it get worse? And it just did. And that body and that hearse is your kid. When the time you just heard was your bid. Keep your head on straight and stay focused, baby. Hey, woke up this morning, told myself something gotta give. Cause going paycheck to paycheck ain't no way to live. Rent due by the 4, but my money low. It's hard to make a record when your lights ain't on.
I was pretty upset. I mean, I think I'm a good player, but I just never made it, you know? And I guess, because I was thinking about majoring in music, and, you know, I guess that was kind of, I thought if I could make it that I was gonna do something like that, but I didn't, so I guess it just wasn't something I was meant for. But how does it feel now that time's passed?
Life's life, and that's the most you can expect. And how you handle it depends where your perception's at. When it's all said and done, and at the end of the day, when the cards you was getting what you wanted to play, when that loss that you took ain't what you wanted to.
Well, I was very dependent upon the people and what they said because I couldn't really see the scores. So even though I have glasses, I couldn't see much. So I was just when the results came up for trombones, I heard Christopher. Congratulations to Christopher making first. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then I was waiting and waiting to hear my name. And I was like, I must have done really bad on my score-wise.
You were the last.
Yeah, the last qualifier. I think Christopher was the first one that said, oh, it's All-State's qualifier, and he tapped my knuckle, and I was like, okay, at least that comforts me.
catching place. When money low, it make a man do strange things. He say he different, but we'll see if he really changed. When pressure hit
Mr. Durham.
I don't know. Be careful. I'm not doing that. What's following me? Morning, guys.
Okay, so we were on the bus, all loaded up, ready to go, and then Mr. Durham gets an email saying that
There's some inclement weather coming in,
it's been canceled.
so they're going to postpone all state tryouts until next Friday and Saturday in Jonesboro. Okay, so let's unload and go to a pep rally.
You gotta do this all over again. You know, the packing, the getting ready, the waiting. Yeah, you gotta do it all over again.
I think we sat on the bus for a few minutes, like refusing to get off because we didn't believe it. We really thought he was joking with us, but
I was hoping he was saying, surprise, this is a joke, but I guess not.
So we got off the bus, got our stuff loaded back. They spoke with the principal, Dr. McDonald, and she said that we're supposed to go home and get all our books and binders and stuff, and then come back. None of the teachers are supposed to take up any homework today from us since we weren't supposed to be here.
By me being a professional truck driver, I have to, finagle my schedule to where it fits work. And so therefore, in order for me to do that, I have to do it in advance so somebody can cover my route. And I had no other choice but to take vacation. So now I'm gonna have to refinagle my schedule in order to do the same, and I hope that there's somebody to cover my schedule.
Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Making All-State is important to me because, it looks good for colleges, but also I don't know, it kind of gives me purpose. It's a goal. It's a goal, and it just feels good to know that my work is recognized.
I went there, failed, but I'm ready to do it again. I'm sure ready to do this again.
Is it even in your realm of possibility to think, I'm not going to make All-State?
I hadn't really thought about that. Really, honestly, hadn't. I guess I would have to live with it. But I'd still try and become a better musician because that's not the big picture for me.
This year, I definitely hope to make All-State. Hopefully first band. I made second band last year, so I'm hoping that this year I'll get to be in first band.
All-Region and All-State matter to me a lot because I'm able to compare myself to something bigger than just our school. I'm able to see how I compete against everybody as opposed to just like a smaller group. And I feel like I can show people what I can do.
Good? Thumbs up? All right, let's go.
Do you have some sort of mix Valentine's Day arrangement? Just put just Love Aaron, AAR.
I'll say compared to All Region, it's kind of like, I think for All Region, we're more worried about making higher chair at region so we can qualify for state. But as long as we do good at our tryout at state, we know that we have a spot in the band if we do well enough. And so I think that's enough for us. But at region, it's not enough to do okay. At region, you have to do your best.
You know, overall, went pretty well. I don't think I'll be making first band, first chair by any means.
Yeah, I think I'll be happy because I went in there and I tried my best, and that's really all you can do. I feel like I did pretty well on my prepared stuff, but the sight reading killed me, and one of my scales could have been better. But there's always regrets in the tryout.
And then I nailed the A-flat major scale, and the other scales were a little wonky, but overall it went really, really well. The sight reading was stupidly hard.
Yeah, it's usually the scales and sight reading that sets apart like the highest chairs in the bands.
At Allstate Jazz yesterday, I got second band, second chair. I mean, you know, I care about concert band, but it's concert band. That's my secondary. Drum set, primary.
I think I made Allstate. Yeah, it's whatever. It's all good.
I heard the girl before me play and she messed up probably because of her nerves. And then I didn't expect her to come out crying. And then when she came out crying, everybody got quiet and it got really awkward because we felt sorry for her and she's just a sophomore. And if I were able to speak to that girl, there's always next year, and keep her head up, just to keep her head up.
I've done what I can do. Yeah, no matter what comes out, I am satisfied. I feel proud of myself, and I don't think I could have said that last year.
Just proves how incredible of a tuba player she is.
Oh, look at that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Proud.
Oh yeah. I'm really proud.
Yes, this is my last audition. Hopefully it's one to remember.
I'm gonna be happy with no matter what I get today because I tried hard. It's kind of closure, you know, like especially for this week, it's closure for this week because it's my last tryout over the course of a week, basically. And then this is my last tryout of high school.
It's like there's so much emphasis on awards and all that. I just want to, the real award is in here, so that's it.
When you're at that crossroad, you can always look back and say to yourself, this person was waving their hand and said, hey, I'm over here. Or hey, come this way.
I was so happy when I got out. I felt I had an obligation to make everything up that I missed the year before. So I started to give lessons to kids, to give advice, my own advice actually, to kids, like, hey, you should do this to make yourself better.
When you realize somebody cares, you start to look within inside and say, it must be something, I must have something in me worth fighting for, worth worth making the good decisions for, because they see something. And so at that point, man, that means everything. Having somebody who cares and says, hey, listen, whether or not you care, I care.
Did you save him?
Did I save him? No, he saved himself.
The relationship aspect of this is the most important thing that we do. It's also one of the most difficult things we do.
Gordon was always telling me, you have to build relationships. This is important. They will not respond. I got that from everyone.
It takes time and patience, and
Because you have to get to know the kids, or they are not going to respond to you at all. And it was very true. I didn't believe it at first. I said, oh, it'll be fine.
it takes time to understand that this too shall pass.
I was very wrong. But it's in the end I realized that how to do that. It's a learning process for me as well.
So, here's to another year.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what new things are going to come our way.
Other goals for this year: getting admitted to college, getting at least a 30 on my ACT. I'm gonna try hard for it. I'm at 26 right now. I gotta keep pushing.
But everywhere that I applied, I was accepted, and the only problem is finding the money for everything.
I'm very fortunate. I don't have to worry about paying for college. Sometimes I feel guilty that I'm that fortunate, unlike them, who some of them have to worry about everything.
The prize, as we would tell them, keep your eye on the prize. This is the end result for you going to college, get your education, that comes first.
Yeah, it was always understood that I was going to go to college. When it finally sinks in that there's no more being around and no more being handy for me to see them or to be with them.
I'm really not looking to go somewhere too far away.
How do I let go? Well, it's going to be hard. But, I know they're going to be close by. They're going to live on campus. I'll still get to see them, but I may not be able to see them every day. But I'll take what I can get. Call me, if they're hungry, come home.
And why do you not want to go too far away?
Don't want to leave my parents behind.
I hope my legacy is that people see the way our children have grown into such fine young men, that, they know that we were there for them.
I don't want to grow up, but I still have that hopeful, it's going to happen, and I'm hopeful about it.
Maybe I want to go away. Maybe I just want to get away from all of this and just fly away. But I don't think I do. Thinking about it some more, I don't think I just want to leave my family like that,
They still need you? You need them?
I guess it goes both ways.
I would like to welcome family members, friends, teachers, and parents to Northside High School's 2014 commencement.
Tonight, I'll be sharing with you a letter that I've written to my 40-year-old self. Dear 40-year-old me, please tell me your hair isn't exactly the same as it is now. While it might look good now, I don't want to be one of those people who hasn't changed their hair in years. Also, if you're wearing mom jeans, I might die of humiliation right now.
I guess I start letting them go, or start thinking about what it's like without them. The first day, the first rehearsal of graduation band, when they are put out to pasture.
Do you remember how accomplished you felt the night of your high school graduation? And it wasn't just you feeling that, it was everyone.
because we made it, because we achieved something great, because we were ready to move on.
Yes, I do listen for everything. I don't just listen for the kids who are currently in the band. I listen for the ones that didn't make it all the way with us.
Dear 40-year-old me, remember how intimidating it was to walk into Northside on the first day of sophomore year?
I did love band right from the start. I felt like it was a lot of fun because all my friends were in it, and it was just a lot of fun.
And remember how fun it was to listen to Maybelle and Gloria speak Spanish and biology? Because, come on, how cool is it to be bilingual?
But I am so proud of you guys for all that you've done and the positive examples that you've been for Northside.
I did the best I could. I don't want to look back and say I could have done something else.
And I thank you for making me a better person. So thank you for that, all right? Good job, guys. And you made me cry.
Do you remember how you felt like you could just be yourself at Northside? You never really felt that way anywhere else. And it took you a while to figure out why that was. The thing about Northside is that everyone respects one another. That respect...
I miss Mr. Manley, but who doesn't miss Mr. Manley, you know? All his antics and crazy quotes and all that. But yeah, I'll miss all the directors.
Aren't these two guys competing with each other? Why are they helping each other out? You know, what's that? That's Northside.
I'm gonna be really, I'm gonna look at the band and I might start to cry and just be like, I'm gonna miss being part of them.
Dear 40-year-old me, you may not care what your 17-year-old self has to say, but you might. So here's what I want you to take away from this letter. I don't want you to forget what it's like to be in a place where you are accepted for who you are. I don't want you to forget what it's like to be respected by your peers and to respect them also. I don't want you to forget those things, because if you do, I'm afraid you'll stop giving that same respect and acceptance to other people. Thank you.
On graduation night, I'm hoping to be able to just smile and be like, I did so much, I got all these scholarships, I made All-State.
Hopefully I've just had the best year I could possibly have.
All my family and friends are here. It's a great night. Let's go out and celebrate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Northside High School class of 2014. Thank you.
What I've found is the Northside kids, they like to come back and visit, you know. And so we'll see each other.
This is why I teach music. Not because I expect you to major in music. Not because I expect you to play or sing all your life. Not so you can relax. Not so you can have fun. But so you'll be human. So you'll recognize beauty. So you'll be closer to an infinite beyond this world. So you have something to cling to. So you'll have more love and more compassion, more gentleness, more good. In short, more life. That's why I teach music.